Let's get out. Yeah.
Okay. My world. Just make sure you pussy ass niggas take us. Y'all gotta take us together. With my nigga. My baby. I love him. I love him so much. Get y'all somebody that love y'all. They really.
On the morning of October 25th, 2023, the dead body of a 35-year-old missing woman was found abandoned on the roadside of Melinda Lane and Murdoch Road in Dallas, Texas. Just hours earlier, police had responded to a disturbing report of a shooting at the Pleasant Village Apartments. When they arrived, they didn't find the victim, but they did find her husband's car, smeared with blood, a single bullet casing on the floor, and a lone sandal belonging to the missing woman. As the police grappled with the mystery of this devastating tragedy, they found a shocking revelation. The person responsible for the woman's death was her own husband, who shot her after a very expensive wedding. But it was what the police uncovered next that truly stunned everyone. This is the life and death of Duche Stevenson. This story unfolds in Dallas, Texas, a major metropolitan hub nestled in North Texas. While known for its vibrant culture and economic growth, Dallas also grapples with a notably high crime rate. With approximately 46 incidents per 1,000 residents, the city's crime statistics nearly double the state average of 27 per 1,000, and those terrifying statistics would show the horrifying death of Duche. Duche Stevenson was born on November 16, 1988, in Dallas, Texas. She grew up closely connected to her family, building strong bonds with relatives whom she often celebrated on social media.
We about to do a toast. She done drunk up her Patron. She done drunk up her Patron. I do want to propose a toast, and I want to thank all y'all for coming because y'all didn't have to. It was raining hard as fuck. Good, my sister been on me since broken. Yeah, we took the little girl. Hey, please pass my drink, baby, because baby, this is very empty. Y'all want to say something? We're going down the line. What you got to say, guys? What you got to say, Toya? Okay. Robert, you got something to say? To your sister, Amazing. Teacher got something to say? Thank you, cousin.
As she got older, Duche took on the role of caretaker for her mother, who became partially paralyzed after a stroke. Along with a number of other health issues, Duche was known to be generous with her time, love, and resources, especially when it came to those closest to her. From a young age, Duche stood out for her ambition and strong work ethic. While details about her schooling remain limited, it's clear she was driven to succeed. She eventually channeled that ambition into entrepreneurship, building a name for herself in Dallas. She founded Shea Money Purses and More LLC, a boutique where she sold a range of fashion items, from clothing to lashes.
You guys, come foul with me.
Aww, appreciation.
Yes.
This is so sweet. I can't wait till I start doing taxes.
She even helped clients file tax returns during her spare time, further demonstrating her business savvy. On social media, she proudly called herself Money-Making Duche on Facebook and Shea Money on Instagram. In May 2022, she celebrated a milestone, securing her storefront, something she considered a term goal finally realized. And amidst all of her life's endeavors, Duche carried out her greatest role with unwavering dedication: motherhood. Her 17-year-old daughter, Maya, from a previous relationship, was the center of her universe. She was a devoted, hands-on mother who showered Maya with love, support, and stability. For Maya's 17th birthday, Duche gifted her a brand new car. More than just a present, It was a symbol of the life she had built through determination and hard work.
Down everybody, shout out to my sister.
And more, y'all know how we do it. Big giveaways. We take care of the people, so y'all know we for y'all. We are having our Christmas drive, our giveaway. So make sure y'all be a part. Period.
Let's put the sign in the back. Let's even. I'm playing with them.
Though she balanced motherhood, multiple businesses, and caregiving duties, Duche was known as the life of the party, a woman with a radiant personality who made everyone around her feel welcome. But behind the scenes of her vibrant public life, there was another part of her story that would eventually lead to her tragic end. It is at this point that I want to introduce the man, Michael Smith. Michael had been in Duche's life for years. To outsiders, he seemed calm, reserved, and easygoing, a quiet complement to Duche's dynamic spirit. They had been in a long-term relationship filled with the usual ups and downs. But there was one truth about Michael that should have raised alarms. For several years, he had been incarcerated. In 2016, Michael was sent to prison, and while that fact alone should have been a red flag, Duche chose to see the man she loved, not the reality of what his past might reveal. She stayed loyal through it all, calling, visiting, and standing by his side. Her devotion was undeniable, but what she didn't know was that her empathy and loyalty were being offered to someone whose true nature was far darker than she realized. When Michael was finally released from prison on May 17, 2021, Duche embraced him with open arms. He had missed years of freedom, and she wanted to make sure he felt welcomed, appreciated, and loved. True to her nature, she poured her heart into helping him adjust, offering him a soft place to land after years behind bars. But what she didn't know was that welcoming him back into her life would ultimately cost her everything.
In case as a close reminder to everyone to recognize warning signs in relationships.
You going live, Red? Hold up. Yeah, that got my nigga. I ain't you started to play, you know. Yeah, my nigga. Period. Big Red, make sure you get this. I ain't you started to play, you know. Yeah, my nigga. Period. Big Red, make sure you get this. I think I might get right now. I ain't just made him no crime. Why you get this point? You know, I know you're right. You're right.
Let's get out. Yeah.
Okay. I think it should be time. What time is it? I can't see. I'm trying to see if I should end mine and start over. Because I want everybody to see the surprise I got for my husband.
And so, oblivious to the looming danger and blinded by love, Duche began the next chapter of their story with hope in her heart and plans for a future she believed in. To celebrate Michael's return and solidify their bond, she organized a surprise that spoke volumes about her commitment, a wedding. On May 24, 2021, just days after he was released, the two were officially married at the courthouse. But that was just the beginning. Over a year later, on September 9, 2022, Duche went all out. She hosted an expensive wedding celebration, handling every detail herself, from the rings to the entire ceremony. It was clear she wanted to give Michael the kind of welcome and life he had never had. Since Michael had just come out of prison and didn't have the means to contribute financially, Duche took care of everything. She was the sole provider, footing the bill for their life together, and even though it was an uneven dynamic, she didn't seem to mind, or at least she never let it show. In fact, she shared her joy publicly. In an Instagram post, Duche expressed how deeply she believed Michael was the answer to her prayers, a man who truly loved her for who she was. She described him as faithful, loyal, and unlike anyone she had ever been with before. To her, he wasn't just a partner, he was a king. Someone who treated her like a queen and showed her a kind of love she had never known. But Duche's devotion didn't stop at the wedding. She poured everything she had into the relationship, financially, emotionally, and physically. She booked luxury vacations, threw elaborate birthday parties, and even gifted Michael expensive items, including a diamond ring and $10,000, 0 cents, in cash. Her love language was generosity, and she never held back. Duche constantly went above and beyond for Michael. While she managed the finances and took care of all the planning, his only responsibility was to be present. On the surface, their marriage looked like a celebration of love, but in reality, it seemed to run on Duche's efforts and her wallet, or at least, that's how it appeared. Beneath the surface, the warning signs inside their relationship were beginning to show.
Hey y'all. Thanks, y'all. It's my mama's Mother's Day. I got to school early. I'm a mama too. I got to start early with my mama.
Yeah, what's up,
Jess, thank you, baby. Tell mama I said happy birthday too. I mean, happy Mother's Day, not birthday. Come on, undo the birds. You can sing it.
I'm bringing this so disgusting. It was dead.
Yeah. I feel good on the month. You done ready to do the oh, you want to know so? Let that be high there, like, you know. I don't put it there. Okay. She's letting that one. Keep your legs permanently not see too short raise.
Michael came from a difficult upbringing, one where he had to fend for himself from an early age. Unlike Duche, who was surrounded by a close clit-loving family, Michael wasn't used to that kind of support, and it showed. Over time, it became clear that being on the receiving end of Duche's constant love and generosity wasn't enough for him. He also carried the weight of a past marked by substance abuse, and as time wore on, the cracks began to deepen. Michael's growing envy of Duche's accomplishments became hard to ignore. The more she flourished, building her businesses from the ground up and earning respect as a self-made entrepreneur, the more withdrawn and resentful he seemed to become. And this resentment would slowly show in how he interacted with Duche. Those closest to the couple began to notice subtle shifts in their dynamic, but what they didn't understand was the severity of the situation. It's a difficult truth that some men can struggle when their partners outpace them in success. Michael's case, societal expectations around masculinity and outdated notions of dominance in relationships only added fuel to his inner turmoil. What Duche saw as love and partnership, Michael began to perceive as a mirror, reflecting his own shortcomings. But Duche would make a mistake that would eventually be the cause of her tragedy. Despite the growing signs, despite the tension that clung to their home like a shadow, she remained devoted. Ever the loyal wife, she continued to pour into Michael, showering him with gifts, buying them matching outfits, footing every bill, and going out of her way to prove her love in every possible gesture. She believed, or at least hoped, that enough love could fix what was broken. But Michael's envy wasn't just about her career. It ran deeper, darker. His insecurity began morphing into being possessive, and this obsession would trigger his old struggle with drug addiction. This was when their relationship started to turn dark. Just days days before everything would come crashing down, on October 21, 2023, something Duche said would foreshadow the devastating tragedy that was to come. It was her sister Jasmine Stevenson's birthday. As usual, Duche called to send her love, and the two shared laughter and lighthearted banter, as sisters often do. But then, seemingly out of nowhere, Duche said to her sister that she feels like she's going to die. Then, just days later, on October 24th, 2023, everything changed. That day, her daughter tried to contact her, but received no response. It was something unusual for Duche to do. Alarmed by this sudden silence from her mother, Maya called their relatives to look for Duche, but failed. Duche Stevenson seemed to have vanished out of nowhere. Right then and there, they knew something was wrong, but nothing could have prepared them for what came next. In a desperate attempt to find her, Duche family reached out to Michael. They met with him face to face, hoping for answers, but he claimed he hadn't seen her. He said he didn't know where she was. His words didn't sit right. Still, with nothing solid to go on, they pressed forward. Using location tracking, the family traced Duche's car. It led them to the Pleasant Village apartments, where Michael's father lived. Her vehicle was found parked there, oddly out of place. That discovery sent a wave of panic through everyone. Why was her car there? And why hadn't she contacted anyone? Then, less than an hour later, a chilling post appeared on a local community blog. A woman had been found shot to death, just 3 minutes away from Michael's father's home. They immediately rushed to the scene as they called the police, and when they arrived, police officers confirmed their worst fear. What they found was Michael's car. And as the police investigated, what they found was a horrifying discovery. Inside the car were splattered blood, a single bullet casing, and one sandal. And to make it all worse, it was the same one that Duche was last seen wearing. The family immediately knew that something terrible had happened to Duche, but there was one mystery. Where was Duche? The police then pressed on with the investigation, piecing together what led to that horrifying scene inside the car. Surveillance footage pulled from nearby buildings began to shed light on the events of that night. The cameras showed both Duche and Michael arriving separately, each in their own vehicle, but somewhere along the timeline, Duche was seen getting into Michael's car. What happened after that remains a mystery, but what's for sure is that something went terribly wrong inside that vehicle. Not long after, the police received a chilling call. A female body had been discovered on the side of the road at the intersection of Melinda Lane and Murdoch Road in Dallas, Texas. She had been shot in the chest and left behind like she meant nothing. It was a gruesome and heartbreaking discovery, because the dead woman who was found was Duche Stevenson, and the only person who could have done this was her husband, Michael Smith. As word of Duche's tragic death spread through the community, heartbreak quickly gave way to outrage and urgency. The man responsible, her husband Michael, had vanished. Law enforcement immediately launched a manhunt. When police searched Michael's residence, they uncovered several firearms inside. The presence of those weapons only deepened the suspicion, but Michael wasn't there. He had already fled, slipping into hiding in an attempt to escape justice. For days, he moved from place to place, staying under the radar. Authorities tracked his movements as he bounced between temporary hideouts, trying to stay one step ahead. It wasn't until he attempted to lay low in a local barbershop that police finally caught up with him. When questioned, Michael claimed he had been under the influence of phencyclidine, or PCP, during the incident, a powerful and illegal hallucinogenic drug known to severely distort perception and mood. PCP typically appears as a white powder or liquid and can cause dangerous behavioral changes. But while it can affect judgment, investigators were not convinced that it excused or even explained the cold-blooded killing of his wife. Ultimately, Michael Smith was arrested and formally charged with the murder of Duche Stevenson, a devastating end to a love story that had once promised so much. As of now, Michael Smith remains in custody, held on a $1 million 0-cents bond, a steep amount that reflects the seriousness of the charges. Unless the bond is paid, he will remain behind bars as he awaits his court date and eventual sentencing. The investigation is still active, with authorities continuing to piece together the chain of events that led to Duche's final tragic moments. For Duche's family, the pain is immeasurable.
I gotta understand. I would respect him more if he tell me why.
We definitely need strength. We need prayers. It's a big one.
They are left grieving not just a daughter, a sister, and a friend, but a vibrant woman whose life was stolen in the most brutal way. Her daughter, in particular, has been deeply affected. She and Duche shared a close, unbreakable bond. Her mother was her rock, her comfort, the one who always made sure she felt safe and loved. Now, that constant has been ripped away, and in its place is a haunting absence, along with the devastating reality that the man who once shared their home, their family moments, and their trust is the very person responsible for it all. What makes Duche's story especially heartbreaking is that the man who took her life wasn't a stranger. He was her husband, the same man she had supported through his lowest moments. Even standing by him during his incarceration turned out to be the one who ended her life. Michael's jealousy, drug use, and increasingly unstable behavior had long poisoned their relationship. Still, no one imagined it would escalate to murder. While he has yet to face trial, Duche's family believes the evidence against him will be enough to bring him to justice. Duche's death is more than just a tragic story. It's a painful reminder of the hidden dangers of domestic violence. When one partner feels threatened by the other's success, resentment can build quietly, then explode. Michael's inability to handle Duche's strength and independence, paired with his addiction and emotional instability, created a deadly mix. Let us know what you think about this case in the comments below.